She survived war. She survived loss. But inside an American detention center, her family says she almost didn't survive this. Her name is Leqaa Kordia, and right now her loved ones say the US government is keeping them in the dark. Leqaa Kordia is a 33-year-old Palestinian Muslim woman living in the United States. She was raised in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. And since late 2023, she has lost dozens of family members in Gaza, more than 175 relatives, according to Amnesty International. Last Friday, Leqaa was rushed from ICE detention to a Texas hospital after suffering a seizure. According to the Department of Homeland Security, medical staff at the Prairie Land Detention Center notified ICE around 8:45 p.m. that night. Leqaa was admitted for further evaluation, but her family says they were never told what was happening. For 3 days, they received no updates, no diagnosis, no explanation. She was in the hospital and we didn't even know why, her cousin said. We still don't know what her medical condition is. On Monday, Leqaa was discharged and immediately returned to detention. Leqaa was detained early last year during a scheduled meeting with immigration officials in Newark, New Jersey. She was there with her attorney. At the time, she was actively working to secure legal residency. Her mother is an American citizen. The Department of Homeland Security says Leqaa overstayed an expired student visa. They also point to her arrest during pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University in 2024, protests the government claims were supportive of Hamas. Leqaa and other demonstrators, including Jewish groups, strongly deny that claim. They say criticism of Israel's assault on Gaza and advocacy for Palestinian rights has been wrongly labeled as extremism. ICE insists Leqaa received appropriate medical care, but human rights groups have repeatedly raised alarms about conditions inside immigration detention facilities, calling them unsafe, neglectful, and inhumane. The US government denies those allegations. Leqaa Kordia has lost her family to war. She has lost her freedom to detention. And now, her family says, she has lost even the most basic right to know what's happening to her own body. As questions grow, one thing is clear. Leqaa's story is no longer just about immigration. It's about transparency, human dignity, and whether silence can be as dangerous as confinement.
Mr. Mayo, let me ask you a question. Kenneth Moreno Guzman, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, forcibly broke into the back door of a family's home on January 12, 2025, a year ago, and proceeded to rape an 11-year-old girl and held her 10-year-old sister at knife point, was sought after to be removed by ICE. Should ICE remove that individual from the United States?
I mean, first off, I want to say that's tragic. It's horrific.
Yes or no? Should ICE carry out its function to remove that individual from the United States and get him to law enforcement for prosecution?
Every victim deserves justice.
Hector Balderas Healer, a criminal alien from Mexico, was arrested for a felony hit and run that killed an 11-year-old boy on Thanksgiving morning. ICE worked to get this person in custody. Should ICE do that?
What I'm talking about is not normal law enforcement.
Should
I want to
ICE
be really
remove,
clear about that.
yes or no, should ICE remove these individuals who are a danger to the American people? Yes or no?
I'm here to speak
yes
about
or
what
no,
is happening.
should ICE carry out its function in law enforcement to remove these people who are killing Americans? Yes or no?
ICE has the ability to do its law enforcement activity.
So ICE should carry out its law enforcement function to remove people who are harming the American people, such as the next person, Marvin Fernando Morales Ortiz, a criminal illegal alien from El Salvador, brutally murdered a resident inside his home in Western Virginia, just one day after sanctuary politicians refused to honor the ICE arrest detainer and released him from jail. That's what we've been dealing with. That was the product of the previous administration. Now we're trying to remove dangerous actors, and you all want to turn that into some sort of cause celeb.
I'm trying to speak about something that is not normal law.
My time, Mr. Mael.
Those are just a small fraction of what is happening in the United States of America. So be very careful when you come here at the request of my Republican colleagues to testify on the abuses of First Amendment rights. When we have this happening right here in this country, do not let yourselves be used. Mr. Mayall, as Executive Director of the ACLU of Minnesota, you and your colleagues have been on the front lines of Trump's assault on Americans' free speech rights. And the video we watched is so horrific, and yet there are so many more terrifying tactics that immigration agents and Border Patrol agents are using against people of all statuses. In fact, Tom Homan seems to suggest that their intimidation and attack tactics on First Amendment protections will continue, saying, quote, that they will not draw down on personnel providing security and responding to hostile incidents until we see a change in what is happening. And let's be clear that while he is admitting that Kristi Noem has failed in this whole effort when he says he'll draw down 700 agents in Minnesota, that's still 2,300 agents that are left in Minnesota, 4 times the size of the local Minneapolis police force. So can you just describe how agents are surveilling people and the fear that even U.S. citizens face in being threatened at their homes?
Yes, thank you for the question. I'll tell you about Sue Tincher, who's our lead client in our lawsuit, Tincher versus Noem. She has been living in Minnesota for 30 years. She heard about an ICE activity in her neighborhood. She went out to the site and a distance from an ICE agent, simply asked the question, "Are you ICE?" She was then tackled in the snow, arrested, taken to the Whipple Detention Center, and at that site she had parts of her clothes cut off, she had her purse cut off, and she had her wedding band cut off. This is not normal, what is happening. And I just want to make that very clear, that this is not normal law enforcement.
And there are cells in Whipple specifically for U.S. citizens who are being held, most of whom are then being released without charges. I have a series of very quick questions. Are you aware of any city in Belgium where 3,000 agents have been deployed and those agents are dragging people out of their cars?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any city in the UK where federal agents point firearms at civilians exercising their legal right to observe them? Quickly, Mr. Mayall.
In recent years, not that I'm aware of.
Are you aware of any city in the EU where a federal agent has shot and killed a citizen and the leaders of that country justified the killing with no credible evidence before any investigation had occurred?
In recent moments, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you, Mr. Mayall. I think the situation is clear. This committee should focus on our First Amendment violations right here at home instead of pulling people in from other countries. That's where we have to protect our democracy and our rights, right here at home.